Good morning, John Jones here for more Monday Motivation brought to you by Business Alliance, Inc., the premier resource for growth in the franchising industry. Guys, we've been talking about future-proofing your career in the age of AI. And as coach, consultant, or a business leader, we want to make sure that you are unreplaceable, right? And one way to do that is to go beyond the traditional role of consultative selling and to adopt what we call the coach approach. The coach approach is more than just customizing a sales presentation to meet the expressed needs of your client. It's about becoming a trusted advisor, bringing expert insights, exercising extreme empathy and understanding, influencing others to believe in and invest in themselves. And it's about inspiring your clients to take action and create the life that they want and deserve. Becoming unreplaceable in the age of AI is not just about learning how to use AI. It's also about mastering the dynamic human skills that AI cannot replace. Today, I want to discuss yet another important way to become unreplaceable, and that is to build powerful referral networks. I can't think of a better way for you to bring massive value or for you to secure your income and your professional future than by becoming a master referral generator. First of all, referral prospects are the best quality leads by far. And we all know this, right? They already come with a high level of trust and validation. They progress through your sales process much faster and easier. They're more likely to invest at higher levels, more likely to be repeat buyers. They're more loyal, and they will convert at a much, much higher rate. Let me ask you guys this. What would it mean to your business and your career if you could increase your conversion rate by, say, 10%? Now imagine a 25% increase or even a 50% increase. Can I submit to you that only referrals can do that? Years ago, I was invited to speak, do some training with the #1 car dealership in Las Vegas. And before the session, I asked the general manager, how can I best help the team in this limited time that I have? And he said, you know what, John, our closing ratio is lower than it needs to be. If you could come in and share some ideas and strategies with our team on how we can improve our closing ratio, that would be awesome. And I was preparing for that session and thinking about it, going through my notes, and I thought to myself, yeah, I could definitely share some great closing strategies, and that will help them move the needle a little bit in their conversion ratio. But then I thought, if they really want to increase their conversion rate, the best way to do that is to focus on referral generation, not closing strategies. So, when I then began my talk, I caught the general manager a little bit off guard at first, but once I started explaining to his team that if they truly want to control their destiny and grow their income, then the ultimate skill to develop is referral generation. And so we talked about referral strategies and dialogues for the next 30 minutes on getting referrals and how referral business will dramatically increase their conversion rate. And the general manager actually ended up loving this approach. And actually, right as I was about to start transitioning at the end and promoting my event that was coming up, he interrupted me. He stood up and said, John, you are 100% right. And by the way, our entire team is going to your seminar. And then he said, hey, just put this on my American Express, if you don't mind. I need the points. So I said, yes, sir, no problem. I could take care of that for you. But then with a big smile, I then said to the team and the general manager, I said, hey, guys, I got one small favor to ask you guys before we go. And they said, sure, what can we do for you, John? I said, well, I need everybody right now to take out 2 business cards. You guys all have business cards, right? You're salespeople. And said, yeah, so now on the back of your cards, I just need you to write down the name of phone number of a business manager, an owner, or a sales professional that also needs to come to my event with you guys. And of course, they knew what I was doing, asking for referrals. They loved it. They thought I was the real deal because I was walking the talk. And I told them that I had one more piece of great advice to share with them from Mr. Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. According to Jerry Jones, a billionaire, by the way, there are just 3 secrets to becoming rich. Are you ready? He said, number 1, ask for the business. Then he said, number 2, ask for the business. And number 3, I forgot. So we had the best time. Let's face it, salespeople are the easiest to do business with, aren't they? I also learned this. Business owners love it. When you motivate their team to get off their butts and work referrals, they do. Anyway, getting back on track, I can tell you that in my business right now, one good referral is equal to more than 50 purchased internet leads, at least. And if that's not enough motivation, consider the cost to generate a referral versus the cost of a lead from a traditional advertising source or from an online provider. I can't think of any other example in business or in life where the best quality item is also the lowest cost. Where does that happen, right? Look, we need to understand the value of a referral, and then we need to act accordingly. I'm willing to bet that you pretty much agree with everything I just said about referrals. And at the same time, I'm also willing to bet that you have a tremendous opportunity to improve in this area. And the truth is, we all do. And referral generation has to be intentional and tactful. You need a plan, some good strategies, and most of all, the discipline to execute consistently. Here's a question to ponder. Is the extra effort, the focus, and discipline that it takes to build a referral network, is it worth the reward? I believe it is, and I believe that we need to prepare ourselves for even a new reality that in the age of AI, strategic partnerships and referral generation is not just a good idea, but a requisite for survival, especially if you're a small business owner, a consultant, or a solo entrepreneur. So here's what's happening. People are going to the marketplace and they're competing for clients who are already actively shopping or researching in your space. Of course, this is very enticing because these buyers have some urgency, right? And your marketing message has a strong likelihood of being relevant to this buyer at this time. And that's all fantastic. But the downside is that everybody is fishing in this same pond, right? And sometimes it's more like fishing in a piranha tank, if we're honest. I don't know about you, but I don't like to go to the most popular beach on the 4th of July because it's too crowded. You can't even park, right? So for many businesses, it's extremely difficult to achieve consistent results through internet advertising. It can be elusive and unreliable. And when we don't get the results that we need, they tell us that we're not aligned with the new algorithms that change every week, or we just aren't doing enough volume. Can you relate? And I get it. Internet marketing is a game that most of us do need to play at some level. But most business owners and consultants that I work with, they can't afford to outspend the competition. So let me ask you a few questions. What if you had the ability and the resources to not only level the playing field, but to surpass the competition? What if you can control and anticipate a much greater percentage of your marketing production through referrals? What if you could cut your cost per deal or your customer acquisition costs in half? And at the same time, of course, increase your conversion rates with clients who are a better fit anyways. That would make you unreplaceable in the future-proof your career and your business. That's what this is about. Let's make building a referral network a top priority. Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, explained that rich people build networks while everybody else is just looking for work. That's what I want to encourage you to do, to build and cultivate a referral network. Not just pass out a business card and say, hey, by the way, if you happen to know anybody. I'm talking about consciously building a community of advocates who not only cheer you on with likes and follows, but who actively refer you. These will be your best clients. Let me share a simple exercise with you. Here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to think of how many people meet the following criteria, okay? How many people do you know who know you, they like you, they trust you, they know exactly what business you're in, they know what you're looking for in a viable prospect, and they also know that you've got an exciting reward program if a referral becomes a deal. It's pretty simple, right? But how many people of influence satisfy that criteria that I just shared? Now imagine, what if we can 10x that number, you guys? And what if we can get a few of these advocates to send you a few deals each year? And what if we can then double that number? What if we could build relationships with several key influencers who are not only willing to refer you a candidate, but they're also willing to partner with you and give you access to engage and educate their network, a network that they could have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to build over time. And look, I understand that this is all easy to say, right? But so is saying that someone can lose 100 pounds and transform their life. Easy to say, hard to do, but yet people do it all the time, don't they? The time, energy, commitment, and the bold action that it takes to build a referral-based business is significant. And the degree to which you want to play this game, that's entirely up to you. But let's start with this, that the number of people who know you, like you, trust you, understand your business, and want to refer you clients, this number ought to be bigger than it is today. Can we agree on that? Right? The winning formula involves building purposeful and synergistic relationships with leaders and people of influence. It requires bringing value with relevant information and insights to your network and partners. We must also leverage modern CRM systems, which, by the way, most of you are already paying for that, and AI tools to execute and deliver consistent, on-point content. And most importantly, you must attack this mission with a servant leader mindset. As the late, great Zig Ziglar explained, you'll get what you want in life if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. In our line of work, we use a term called meaningful conversations. And meaningful conversations involves a sincere meeting of the minds, right? A conversation with purpose, but not agenda. They require empathy, genuine curiosity, and an exchange of real perceived value. And these conversations are becoming more difficult to create. And I think that's why these conversations are really becoming the ultimate key performance indicator in our business. These meaningful conversations help people evolve through a discovery process that ultimately results in a life-changing decision in a business transaction. I believe the opportunity at hand is to use modern technology, not to replace meaningful conversations, but to create more of them. When we build a network and consciously generate referral opportunities, we are creating a pipeline where these meaningful conversations can take place and accumulate. If you want to feel unreplaceable, then let's schedule a coaching session and start working on creating the best business opportunities on earth. Referrals. I'm ready when you are.